and play Lucian Nami. I think getting away rid of that on blue side allows you to get your priorities and not get that response from them and really get that consolidated because Smiley and Wagner have been a very strong pairing so far for me. First pick here, obviously Wukong available, Gwen's available, the Viego's available as well. Be interested to see what
Zeri,
direction they go. Zeri is as
Zeri,
well.
take it, pick it now. They do have a few tools open though. It's not just a first pick be all and end all, but there we go. Yes, not on the ban table. They take it for themselves. I think Go's bans are a little bit different from what we've usually seen on red side. We don't tend to see, so much focus down into the support role. It is normally the ADCs that get pinched in this area, but BDS Academy quite happy to just say, okay, the Zeri's open, we're going to take it. And I'll get to talking about Zeri and quite how the champion functions in a little bit of time. But for right now, Go still have their picks to pick up for themselves. They opt in quite rightly to the Wukong, which is open and available, likely to get responded with a Viego for Shio, potential for a Lilia to come through as well if he fancies. But the Twitch in the bot lane with a lot of the hyper carry supports sort of taken off the board. A little bit different than I may have expected from Go. We'll have to see where the rest of their support bot lane draft takes them, because I think that of 3 support pairings, they pretty much banned the best of them.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can see Shio pivot back to that Volibear style, allows him to play for the lanes more. I don't think necessarily you need to go for the carry style. And obviously with that, with a lot of the junglers being pinched, I think the only real directions I would see Shio pivoting towards here are maybe a Graze, which I don't think massively fits with what they're trying to build. Viego obviously as well. I do quite like the Volibear here as well, especially with the Nautilus as well. You can see kind of the rib cage being built around the Zeri almost.
Yeah, we are very 12-8, 12-9 meta right now with the Nautilus, the Volibear, the Zeri as well on release, sort of that time frame at least. But I do think that, the Zeri certainly has priority. I certainly like the Nautilus up against the Twitch. In particular, we always see Nautilus up against Hypercarries. We used to see it as the answer to Jinx and Aphelios. Just because at some point that depth charge is going to hit. The issue with the Twitch is that getting into the range of a Twitch is very difficult, particularly when he has spray and pray open. When he has that on his cards, he's like upwards of 800-900 range that can really put a spanner in the works of the Nautilus.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I think taking that Brahman response is not typically like you're saying what you'd see with the Twitch. Obviously, it's interesting to me that perhaps speak to me that Go had an initial plan of kind of pivoted somewhat because they ban away the Renata. Obviously, like you're saying, I think now for me, in terms of banning away some, they seem to have banned away one of these safe blinds that they know that Adam will be able to pivot towards on that gangplank. Expect a safe mid blind as well. Maybe a Victor for Rika, I think as well would be good to get rid of.
Yeah, great bans up against Rika for that exact purpose, right? If he's going to have to take a blind pick here, which is quite likely, that dependent on where Go tend to go, I actually think that they'll take mid lane here. Actually, they tend to put a lot more stock into Nuke. You can see his Carly banned away in the first phase because he is a very good carry-oriented player. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and facilitate that with a counter pick on 5, so it does potentially give Rika that counter pick possibility. But we'll have to see where Go end up going. It is that, expected tendencies that we've seen from them before. And, they could try and, throw a spanner in the works, give Ronaldo a little bit of agency this game. But having 2 games of Karma on the board already, we can sort of draw from that. Maybe anticipate it to be a slightly more Nuke-centered draft.
I'm expected to see, I'd imagine Ari for Ronaldo here. You could also pivot towards the Karma if you wanted to, and then play a carry top on 5. Azir could be an option as well in terms of your blind.
Taken. The Victor is a good matchup then into the Azir. This used to be the answer from way back when Victor, previous to the rework, but when Azir was all the rage, we did see Victor come through. We've also seen Vigor come through as answers to the Azir, but as if we have to mention it, if one gets picked, the other one seemingly always taken as an answer. The Corki versus the Azir matchup back into the mid lane, and now Adam has to decide what top laner he wants. There's a lot of dive so far for BDS Academy with the Nautilus, with the Volibear. They've also got very good poke with the Corki and the Zeri. They could opt into a Jace here if they wanted, but they're going to go for something a little bit more stable to dive in, go for that front-to-back style, front-to-back mentality. And they opt for that Gnar, very safe blind usually. But we did see, actually just last week, I think, the Aurelia came through as an answer. And Aurelia buffed on this patch too. There is a world where we see something along those lines come through for Go.
Yeah. I mean, like you're saying, we spoke about this as a gauntlet that was thrown down by Cabochard in one of the games we saw later last week.
Yeah.
the Aurelia going to be picked up in response to the Gnar. I think it's good in isolation. I don't necessarily agree with. I'm not sure. To me, Go's composition is a little bit disjointed. Would it be fair to say, Rude Dude, or is that an unfair characterization?
I think they've got fairly decent team fights right here, honestly. I think they've got good dive setup with the Wukong plus Aurelia, so long as you have one dive buddy, I'm generally quite happy, right? Aurelia on her own diving into the backline can feel pretty awkward, but when you've got a Wukong pairing, not that bad. You've got good backline, you've got the Braum as well to try and act as a support for your carries. I think that both these teams are very clear in what they want to achieve in a 5v5, but I think that Go have that additional flexibility of having the Aurelia in the side lane. Worth noting that coming into 12-11 specifically, Aurelia's healing got increased on her Q, an extra 2% per 2% AD for each rank, and also the cooldown of the Flawless Duet did get decreased as well a little bit. So very, very nice for the Aurelia on the top side.
We're going to have to see how that manages to play out, if that's going to be anticipated. I think what you're saying is entirely correct in terms of the 5v5. We're going to see some sparks fly, and he's second now. Don't go anywhere. Oh, give me a sec.
And we are on to the Rift. BDS Academy up against Go. Two teams in the middle of the standings here, looking to go toe-to-toe with one another. This could be a game for BDS Academy to cement themselves as a playoffs team. It could also be a game for Go to cement themselves as a top of the playoffs team. This could set up our table to be very one-sided. We could get a very diopposed split with some 2-4s and then 4-2s. A flawless duet there from New Q prevents any invades from BDS Academy on that top side.
He's going to have to use another one here.
I think that was the same one, just from a different angle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange. Are you telling me the observers have the ability to see into the future then?
Definitely.
Well, I might be asking Brandon about some lottery numbers later then.
Oh, we can't say their name on air. That's illegal.
We're not allowed to name the producer.
No, we've doxed them now.
That's not how that works, Rude Dude. They're not just this centrifugal rural identity that don't exist. I've given you. Is this a thing where, like, if you name the producer, they get set free, like Dobby in Harry Potter?
Yes. We don't have a producer for next week. We're gonna have to call upon our secondary one.
You name the producer, he gets set free. That's a cautionary tale for anyone who are looking to run a broadcast anytime soon. But in terms of what's being broadcasted broadcasting to you right now is opposite side start for both junglers. It's going to mean that Shio is more powerful towards his top lane, and Kareem, like we were expecting. Probably going to be the case from Kareem that I'd expect that he clears and then sort of can change his decision making along the way in terms of how the lanes are playing out and the priorities have been gained.
How do we get set 3, Don Drake? What's the rule for us?
How do we get set 3? I'm already set 3.
Yeah, producers get set 3 by saying their names. How do we get set 3? What frees us from this mortal plane?
I'm set 3 every day I get to cast wonderful LFL with you, Rude.
Oh, okay. That was, you know what?
That was
nice. You couldn't have done that better.
Yeah, that was
nailed
nice.
That.
Yeah, that was good. Speaking of nails, hopefully we'll be biting them later as they get into some of the more raucous team fights that are to be expected from both of these compositions. See, I'm not massively a fan of the fact that we've seemingly pivoted back to this Azir Corki meta, but seems to be otherwise.
I think like that just frees us for more chances for you to say words like raucous.
Oh, absolutely.
In normal conversation.
Well, you know me, I'm unleashed in that regard, and pretty unparalleled lexicon and iconography that I can utilize at any given time, Rude Dude.
You're absolutely nailed in this. We've got European viewers that have got better English than me, granted, but that just don't know. I mean, you lose me with half the words you say, and getting more of it, I'm all for it. You expand my vocabulary. Are you
saying that I take your breath away, Rude Dude?
You do. Yeah, take my breath away.
Don't do that ever again. That was really cringe.
You sing on cast all the time.
I won't. But I've got like an okay voice. That was really quite horrible. But
well, that was
anyway.
the joke.
Well, I'm not laughing, Rude Dude. Anyway, back into the game. back into the game now.
No, I
Back
refuse.
into the game and focus now. Is relatively slow and tepid affair. It is a 300 gold lead or so. That's mostly been generated by a slight advantage in the jungle. You can see Shio waiting off on that top side now after his full clear. A little bit slower as Wukong. You're going to be wrapping around the side here. Nuq might be the victim of this. Adams goes aggressively. Nuq. Adam is trying to get Nuq to go back onto him. The wave state would suggest that Nuq should fight with this, but Nuq wiser to the plans of Mini Jungler.
Yeah, just needs to be careful. I respect that from Nuq. I think that different top laners would have definitely got caught out there. Definitely would have at least burned a flash, but it was well played by Nuq there, and it may have just been him standing behind his wave, but for us to say that's well played may seem a little bit counterintuitive, but on a deeper level, that could have been an extra 400 gold going into the back pocket of BDS Academy. It does mean, though, that Nuq does need a little bit of help from his jungler to prevent this from getting completely crashed, but you imagine, or to get it, prevent it from being frozen, excuse me. You imagine, huh? Okay.
It's going to be a flash forward from Dream Race. Ronaldo has no mana here, does flash away. Ignite onto him does mean that he's not going to be burning down too low. Might be able to stay for this wave, but more than likely, it's going to mean that Rika can keep his wave in a beneficial spot. That early advantage, that flash out now is going to mean that a bit more susceptible to a volley bear flashing into his face.
These timings from BDS Academy so far have been beautiful. We saw Shio shepherding on the top side, making sure Adam was forcing Nuq into a detrimental position. We've just seen Ronaldo's flash forced in the mid lane off of a good roam timer from Dream Race. Able to go back to the bot lane, and you know what the sacrifice for Crowny was a couple CS deficit that he's at right now. Really, none too detrimental. You know, we may not have seen any kills through the early game, but BDS Academy certainly stepping to and stepping up in the early stages. Really happy with this.
Yeah, completely. Really happy to see it. There's a very good set of events for the team thus far. Obviously, slowly building. Seems to be the case now more. I want to see these games go a lot later with the picks that we're getting, Rude Dude.
Yeah, Corki and Azir, they tend to generate late games with their ability to A, wave clear, and you know their ability to B, scale, because they can do a lot of damage in those late games. Teams don't tend to be too pressured, too enticed to fight early on. I'm going to continue about their business of just taking camps, taking farm, and with the cross clears that we're seeing between the two junglers, it's actually really smart from Kareem as well. It's worth noting that there's like opposite clears. Both junglers have gone golems to Gromp every single clear. But what that means is that Kareem finishes second clear on the bot side of the rift and has a timing to go for this dragon, where Shio finishes his clear on the top side.
The dragon going the way of Go, though. Important to note is something that we brought up in anticipation, as Shio is going to be able to trying to find his way out of here. Ronaldo's coming from the side, though. Nuq's not gone down. That's the first blood for Go.
Beautiful. Gorgeous counter gank on the top side. Ronaldo just comes in, saves the day. Nuq looked like he was going to go down. BDS Academy once again had that great timing. Level 5 to level 6, the Gnar versus Aurelia. But it wasn't enough. They didn't counter, or they didn't count for the gank from Ronaldo. Now Rika going to be forced to probably Valkyrie away here. Might
even be able to find Kareem if he has flash here. One more R will do it. One more auto. Yeah, he gets it in the end.
Gorgeous. A big one. Certainly exactly that. And after what was a really good disengage play, a really good counter from Ronaldo onto the top side, gets a little bit hard done by Kareem there. Doesn't use flash either to dodge out on the skill shot. Would have, you know, had to trade the flash there, but would have still lived. So overall, good trade in the mid lane for Rika, finding the 1-for-1 on the cross map play, and actually generates himself a large advantage through the mid lane as well. This is a fight broken down. You can see both of them holding on to their movement abilities for when the other one takes it. It's that game of chicken, but Kareem goes a little too far forward. No Nimbus strike, and he one more big rocket. Really nice from Rika, actually. Sort of aims it toward the minion wave so that they can't just hide behind. And like I say, when Kareem doesn't flash that, it's always going to be in a world of pain.
Yeah, really quite uncharacteristic mistake from Kareem there. Seems as quite a cool-headed, level-headed player in the early game, able to find these advantages. It was quite a weird play here, level 5. You're never really going to be able to find the Rika, especially if he has flash available, and a little bit strange from him, so to say.
Adam trying to hold this freeze on this top side. Kareem likely just going to come up and show his face to force that break. But you can see Dream Race and Shio both nearby to show a little bit more presence on that top side as well. We could see a big fight up here. We've got Smiley and Wagnerum also making their way out from the base to at least show some presence. There's a very real possibility that Ambush catches Rika out a little bit. Does have flash available, but it's this top side where the action is happening. Ronaldo's roam once again forces Shio off the play, and that top lane wave, as much as we talked about being frozen, I think it's been sort of eviscerated. It's now just a neutral lane state for the Heralds to be contested over.
Absolutely. Well, numbers advantage here. Nuku's in, but Adam does not have that Mega Gnar just yet. He's going to need to stack it a little bit. In case it's an engage, comes onto Adam. He's over the wall though. A lot of cooldowns have been utilized there. Shio has to ultimate out here if they can get Shio here. Vigram goes quite low as well. Rika's doing a lot of damage. They're going to get Nuku. One more key will do it. Adam, can you find it? There it is. As the Rift Herald goes down, Shio finds it on 1 HP. It's 2 kills with BDSA Academy. Smiley's gone in as well, but he's going to get flashed on by Shio. He's not going to be able to do much more after burning that heal. It's going to be Adam getting another one. It is going to be him landing the ult as well. Ronaldo's tried to do as much as possible. But it's 4 kills for BDSA Academy and the Rift Herald.
Gorgeous fight around the Shelly there. Lovely stuff as BDS Academy used their windows beautifully, really, to take that fight. It was all set up off the back of just good roam timings and making their plays a little bit earlier on. Having that set up around the objective put them in a good position. Yes, they're the ones that have to face check, that have to walk in. You can see they all engage onto the Mini-Gnar, who's able to hop dash over the wall. You think that with these ultis used as a disengage tool that potentially BDS are going to struggle. Ronaldo free hitting at this point, but this is still your early game Azir. Rika as well able to do a large portion of damage. And I think that Shelly, honestly, one of the MVPs of this fight. And then when Smiley comes in, you think, oh, maybe he's going to turn the tide. But once again, we're still these early game carries, not necessarily at that late game point that they need to be. And Ronaldo gets slammed into the wall. The chase down is there. BDS Academy, like you say, get the Herald, get 4 kills, and are now very much accelerated in the match. 2.3k gold the lead.
We spoke about how important it was for Go in terms of how they want to play the game. In pre-draft, we spoke about how they need to offer questions and posit some difficult scenarios for BDS Academy in this early game, and they've very certainly not been able to do that so far with a rare misfire from Kareem and this pretty torrential, disappointing team fight here that's occurred. Shio's deciding whether he wants to go back in here. Has the E, he's going to get the shield from it, but might have gone slightly too early. Crowny pops the heal there, but it is going to be Shio. Thinks he can turn it, but can't quite. Let me go pick up a pick here.
Okay, not too bad. Little response play from Go in the bot side. Now, we did get to just see a little bit of a glimpse there, and I want to, whilst we've got still a little bit of time in the early game, never mind, Adam, in a bit of trouble, potentially.
Doesn't quite have the ultimate yet. It's going to be timing in around 5 seconds or so, I'd imagine.
Yeah, impending pressure around that top side. No TPs available means it's going to be a 4v4 down around this dragon. It's a Mountain Drake spawned. Go got the first one, but Rika, with the package, not too willing to give up the second. Nuku, with the push in the top side, is going to have first roam down here if he wants to, but it looks like both those top laners are completely committed to their lanes respectively. I think that this Drake going the way of BDSA right now, but we see Nuku go all in on that top side. This is a very... Whenever you see an Aurelia, I'm always just on the edge of my seat because there's a moment, sort of a single flash, and she's just solo killed someone.
Absolutely. The second dragon now. What map will it be? I didn't quite see Rude, dude. What map is it? Oh, Rika gets a kill in top.
Rika did get the kill. It's Hextech Rift. I like that from Rika. Another great roam by the mid laners here. Both of them actually just kind of having kind of crazy games with their roams. Both up to the top side, and top lane is no longer an island when you're getting solo laners involved with it. Nice from Shio as well to hover in the mid lane, catch the wave, make sure that nothing is lost from the turret. They can actually place Herald down here as well. Really accelerating once again the gold that gets funneled into this mid lane hyper carry. With Corki in the late game, we touched on it in game number 1, but the Rockets are incredibly impactful. That's going to be 2 extra plates that go to Rika. He already got the kill in the top lane. Gets the gold from that turret plating as well. Really in a good position to set up for the late game team fights.
Completely. Just kind of adding. Sorry.
I'm gonna take the time now, Jake. Whilst we have this window, I thought we had a window a little bit earlier, but now we actually may do with no Drake, no Herald, no Baron. Talk about why Zeri is actually good now.
Okay, I'm excited. Talk me through it.
Because she got a little bit of a change. You know, every time that Zeri hits the patch notes, there's just a different paragraph. There's a new set of lore that comes through to the champion. But now she has W increased AD scaling, which means that with every single item, her W gets even scarier. But Rika may be in trouble.
Rika might be in trouble here. He does get scooped up here. Doesn't have the flash enabled to response. It's a great little Shurima shuffle. Rika gets turned into a Shurima souffle here, unfortunately.
Ooh. Okay. He did not rise though, unfortunately, in the oven, but
you have to prove yourself
got
in Rise.
taken
You
down,
have to prove yourself in Rise sometimes, you know?
Oh, okay, nice. Unfortunately, Rika unable to rise up to that play and was not able to keep himself alive during that one. Ronaldo able to collect the 700 gold kill that came with the bounty on Rika's head. Ultimately, it's not going to be an objective secured anywhere. There's still 5 plates in that mid lane, but it is a very good cash injection to Ronaldo. And the Azir, the late game carry that Go have drafted for themselves as well, also now starting to get a little bit accelerated. Smiley.
He's a little bit in here. Nautilus ult comes out in response. It's going to mean that he can't get a lot of damage out on the Twitch. This means that Crownie has the go button to go. And it's going to be BDSA Academy's Shio on the backline here. Volibear, they tried to find Smiley, but Smiley both summoners to get out of there. Shio's on to the side here. Rika gets to respond. Much more from Vigram. Only about 2 HP or so for Dream Race.
The shield just last second for Dream Race there. Vigram tried to catch him off guard, but just wasn't quite able to do so. Wonderful stuff there by both bot lanes. I think that all of them playing on the edges of their limits. I think that Smiley and Wagner coming out on top of that one with the way that they were able to turn what was effectively a 2v3. Shio certainly tried to get a play down there, but Adam level up over new Q. Item advantage too.
He's just going to straight up kill him, I think. One more Q. Auto attack, that pretty much does it. Adam is absolutely running rampant in the side lane.
Yeah, and that one roam from Rika has really sealed the deal on this. It was a slightly later one. You know, we saw Ronaldo come and turn a play a little bit earlier on, but the way that Adam got a play turned on the top side using Rika, actually more important, the later the game goes, obviously those side lane solo kills, a lot more XP given over as well due to the waves and the... Oh, okay, well, Adam may well just be dead here. He has got Meganar, so could make a play.
You get Ronaldo up against the wall here. A few more seconds stun. This is the ultimate back into Kareem's ultimate in response as well. Pick for Ronaldo, gets the shutdown as well. It's a nice little pick, and Go are finding these little crumbs that this academy are leaving them, but it's not enough to build a loaf.
No, they're following the trail to Grandma's house, and right now Ronaldo is the one who's collecting all those crumbs. We'll have to see whether or not he can defeat the end game boss that is going to be the rest of BDS Academy. Those extra shutdowns certainly going into the right set of pockets. Large rod picked up for Ronaldo as well. 1-to-1 on Dragons. The next Drake spawning with inside the next 40-50 seconds or so. First item hit for Crownie. We haven't yet seen that Luden's Echo completed for Rika. That came through before the Dragon. That would be your crutch point to be trying to play around. But no, so far we have these okay item spikes, but we know that the later the game goes, the more these champions are going to do, the more these champions are going to just really, you know, slam damage down left, right, and center. Smiley just hovering to make sure that there's nobody coming up to contest this top wave, and it looks like it's going to be a trade from Go. They're putting a lot of resources into this top lane, not necessarily setting up. Mid lane is where we see BDS Academy actually setting up. So on the minimap there, Ronaldo very wisely back into his tier 2 turret to make sure he didn't get dove on by the jungle support pairing of Shio and Dream Race.
Completely agree with you there, as Dream's going to be able to get this Rift Herald, but I think an important thing to note is, although Go do find these little pieces of the puzzle that they're trying to build, it's still a 1,000-piece jigsaw, and Ronaldo are going to have to come up with so many of those pieces to just fill the gaps that have been created by some of the early game deficits. It's going to mean that when we get to this late game team fight point, this academy just have so much ability to stay back and go in and out with the Zeri as well, the Rika on this Corki as well, that it really has to be the case that I think Zia has to find something absolutely massive onto the central carries and Rika and Crownie. Smiley has to find a very good angle as well, because he doesn't have that bailout you have from that Twitch Renata. He's got a little bit of peel, but if he gets caught out of position without summoners, for example, he gets blown up absolutely.
And he tagged there. They put the Herald down. Depth charge.
Being engaged. Vigram goes quite low, but tries to do a little bit more damage. Smiley gets a lot of damage in response, but you see Ronaldo tries to find a little bit of an ultimate here, but can't quite get it. Has to use it in response to an engage.
Yeah, defensive Azir wall, not necessarily a bad thing by any means. The later the game goes, the more I tend to value those. It does keep Adam at bay, and with this Gnar, who's a full item up over New Q, a very powerful menace in this game as well, I have absolutely no concerns with using that ult to disengage on a fight. Rika does need to be a little careful here, make sure that Nuku doesn't dash through the wave and take him down, but turns out he's absolutely fine. Drake number 2 does go the way of BDS Academy, no fight to be found afterwards, and for now we're likely to resort back to, again, a fairly quiet mid-stage game, potentially see some picks of
I think he's gone aggressively onto Crown here, but Crown is going to get over the wall.
He's fine.
You forget he has that kind of inbuilt Talon jump. Smiley goes aggressive.
Yeah. The incredibly annoying inbuilt Talon jump as well. You know, it's one of those things where Zeri's dash, if she's not against a wall, is fairly pitiful. When there's a wall there, you can cover some terrain, that's for sure.
Most definitely. So, and, gonna be around about, I'd imagine, 2 to 3 minutes before we see another dragon that will be precipitating and drawing attention towards it, demanding for its aura that these teams do battle in this game. And this academy obviously pretty comfortable in terms of Brownie's going to be building towards the second item now. Phantom Dancer, I'd imagine. Maybe.
Yeah. Shield Bow, Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge tends to be your build path for Zeri. Adam may be caught here. Bush attempt from Go, but Adam wise to it. Doesn't get caught out by it. The reason you go for that build path on the Zeri is you actually do 60-40 magic damage to physical damage split with this champion, with the way the crashdown works and your ulti. He could be caught in the mid lane.
Could be. Crowny, we spoke about him being a problem in terms of getting caught out sometimes, but he's managed to evade it thus far. Engaged is coming out. Adam's gone forward. He's in Mega Null. They might not have anticipated that. Dream Race is keeping Ronaldo out of the fight. Ronaldo knocks away Shio and Crowny, but he's gone in aggressively.
Goes in.
Here comes Ronaldo. Nuku's gone in as well. Can they find Rika? Rika's so low, but Crowny's doing so much on the return. Shio's in as well, but he finds the shield, but he's done it just again like he did before. He's been taken out almost, and it's a victory for Go. They get the 1 kill. 1 for 1. Many advantages being gleaned from that.
Large HP advantage though, and they're going to keep chasing. No turret here. Smiley still on the prowl. Wagner and slow call.
Crowny versus Kareem, but Kareem finds it.
The bot side fight goes their way as well. Smiley and Wagner are able to chase down. They end up sacrificing Dream Erase there to allow Shio to get out to safety. Crowny with a little bit of a greedy recall, it would appear, and Kareem able to spot him out on a reset. Managed to pick up a nice extra kill and Go start to come out on top in the fight, start to come out in these trades. Managed to take out, I believe it was Rika, nice and early on, or at least force him out of the play. Was not present for that fight for the most part. See, they start all of this off onto Crowny, and surprisingly enough, actually Liv is Crashdown, Lightning Rush rather comes through, Flash forced. And this is re-engaged by Adam, and Ronaldo gets a little bit caught out. Good flash to initially dodge the hook, but ultimately buying all this time is what sort of wins them the fight, because the front line turns out to be Rika, which ultimately can't do that much damage, and Adam, as much as he was ahead of the Aurelia in a 5v5 situation, really doesn't stack up to all of Go's damage. Shio able to limp away here, and I think that you know, the residual play was then everybody getting a little bit caught out and chased down. Certainly a 1 fight for Go. They've evened up that kill score, but the gold still incredibly even.
Very much so. Still a 3,000 gold lead or so.
Oh, sorry.
This academy. Exactly as
not exactly. It's not even, Rude. What am I saying?
Not exactly as even as Rude Dude might have suggested, but
no.
What is even is the binary nature of what is about to come. The dragon is spawning. Will they take it? Will they not? 0 or 1. Go for a 1-0 for Go. Be able to win way back from this dragon deficit. All this 4th dragon in a day.
Rika's got package for this fight. If there is to be one around the dragon, spawns in about 30 seconds or so. We'll have to see if he can make the difference on that, or if it is just going to be that zoning tool that forces Go to cede vision, to cede priority. We've seen some fairly interesting Corky packages in our time here, Jake, and we could well see another one, whether it be for the good or for the bad. Remains to be seen. Kareem now in the pit.
Ronaldo doesn't have flash here, so it's going to be hard for him to hook fish if he wants it. Kareem, can you find the smite? It's going to be Shiu who gets it, but the engage comes out, but it's immediately dissuaded by that package, knocks him away here. Great disengage from Rika here, means they get the dragon and they get out as well with no casualties.
Yeah, it just creates a carpet where they can't walk across, and BDS secure the Drake, secure their way out. Lovely stuff there by the mid-jungle of BDS Academy to set themselves up for a soul now in 5 minutes' time. Exactly what you want to see from a Corky, using the package, not necessarily to, you know, in their life away, but to secure good windows of success. And that's exactly what happened there. It wasn't the powerful package that ends up 1v9ing a team fight, but Go here with a very interesting counterplay. It's spotted out immediately. Wonder they can't commit to this, surely.
Expect them not to be able to. It's a lot of damage for Smiley. He's caught out in the open. If Dream Race can find the angle, it could be very dangerous for him. Has that flash available. Hook does come out now. Dream Race going to get taken down quite low, but it's a lot of damage. It's a massive from Crowny. This is not a good crowd that you want to be in for Crowny. New Q. That's a very good kill here, and the Baron does go down. It is going to be Kareem who gets it, but it's going to be Riga going forward. They've actually managed to turn this around almost. Can Kareem find his way out, but it is going to be the white for BDS Academy. They get the kill. Get the kills. They lose the Nash, but it is going to be the white for them. Dangerous affairs in this game so far.
And with no Lightning Rush, Crowny and Rika are still able to do a tremendous amount of work, securing themselves the 5 kills. They denied the Baron being used. They don't deny the Baron specifically, but that was incredibly bold from Go. They knew that Adam didn't have TP, had to take a walk of shame up through the bot lane, but it took them so long to get through the Baron. They made a really good sort of call. It was they made a good call after they'd committed to the Baron. They knew what they needed to do. Unfortunately, just the commitment to the Baron was a little too much in its own right. The second that Shio walks in, they do the correct thing. They turn, they focus down the volley bear. So there's never a chance of a 50-50. Then as soon as the volley bear's down, all the tension back onto the Baron. Kareem secures it. But unfortunately, they just can't get out to safety. And as soon as Ronaldo has used his E there to perform a swoop, he's going for the highlight reel play, and unfortunately just comes up short, so close to surviving and being the MVP really of the fight. But no Baron on the board now means that all of our attention is going to be back in this bot lane. The Dragon not up for another couple of minutes yet, but you imagine that Hex Tech Soul, certainly something that the teams want to contest for.
I'll look for Adam here. He has to flash out. Might have that Mega Gnar available. That would give him a little bit more time here. Be able to slow them down a bit. But you see BDS Academy just pivoting towards this mid lane. They're going to get a tier 2 here for pretty much free.
I remember no Baron for either team, meaning that the odds of breaking up the base do substantially decrease because it's so difficult to do that without having a Baron buff available. Nuke able to clear out this portion of the wave. Smiley now on the chase is of course in stealth, and with the rest of Go, they do want to try and collapse Adam once again. Not with the team, but this time has teleport. It'll be interesting whether or not the timing on that is completely documented by Go for the remainder, and they're still going here. This appears to be what the LFL sort of turns into when there's no objectives on the board. We simply go and charge them around the map.
You seem to be charging around the map like a bull in a china shop almost, and you say Go trying to find any sort of vision, any sort of picks they can get before this next dragon, because this is what they're staring down now, that Hex Tech. I feel like it really disables a lot of what they want to do in terms of that movement slow up, that initial engage that they need to find with Ronaldo and Wukong. Corki with this Hextech Soul is just going to be able to, if you land one of those, it just stops so much of the engage available.
I just had a mini throw up thinking about it. That is not good. Corki with Hextech Soul seems to be maybe my worst nightmare.
Absolutely. And he's gone in here, trying to ramp up some speed here. Ronaldo does have to flash away, he knows what's coming.
Again.
Adam tried to get over the wall here. Didn't quite manage to do it. Looked a little bit weird, but
That's a win for Go right there. Yes, they burn Ronaldo. Actually, they burn Ronaldo flash, but if Smiley and Ronaldo can get back in time for this Drake spawn, I think that's a win. Zeri without ultimate is 40% of the champion at best. Then Zeri with ultimate really relies on that to be able to dish out damage consistently in a team fight. The issue that Go are going to run into is that they have to constantly now face check into Zeri W's plus Corki rockets, and Crowny, with what will be an Infinity Edge completed off of this base, I'm almost certain, is consistently going to be able to rattle out damage with those Ws, consistently, pump it out with any sort of damage that he can pull through from the rest of it. And I think that face checking into Corki Zeri, not necessarily the easiest thing for them, but fortunately enough, it looks like A, there's no Infinity Edge finished for Crowny, and B, Go are able to set themselves up quite nicely around this dragon, so they're going to be the ones in at least control of terrain.
Control the terrain at least. Smiley goes in. They might have found Dream Race almost immediately. They do. And they find now. Rika goes forward. Keep this fight out. Adam's going forward. He's going to have Mega Gnar almost certainly soon. Gets it now. Have Flash available.
Still a jungler available. Shio can take a fight, can take a smite fight, 50-50.
Well, damage Brownie over the wall now. He's found Ronaldo. Stasis goes in. It's going to be Kareem that gets it, but Brownie's found the Azir. He's going to be going forward as well. Corki takes down Nuke. It's going to be a massive fight for BDS Academy as Go gets the dragon, but they're going to be able to get 4-5 kills here. That's a teleport top. They might just be able to end the game, Rude Dude.
Oh, it's going to be close. Death time is certainly 30 seconds long. It goes begging. I think it's 2 inhibs here. The push up for the end may just be a little too overzealous. BDS Academy secure themselves 5 kills. It's going to open up the map for them so much. That Baron should be theirs in about 90 seconds or so. You expect Crowny and Shio to be able to get this one. You've got Adam on the top side working tirelessly on the top inhib. And with 2 inhibitors down, like I say, the map really does just explode open for them. They're going to have so much control. The ease at which they're going to be able to close out this game has just increased tenfold. They have 1 lane to really try and work with, and it shouldn't be that difficult. You commit. They do collect Dreamer Ace, and despite all that, they take so much exit damage just from these Corky rockets, from the Zeri Ws as well, that Wagner and 40 HP, Kareem already soloed down as well to about 70%, and then it's these rockets from Rika. 1 lands onto Ronaldo, Crowny lands a W, and all of a sudden Ronaldo's half HP. Lightning Crash as well, and Ronaldo's dead. Comes out of stasis, instantly popped. Adam commits the gnaw for it, but it doesn't matter. He goes forward, is that front line, and Smiley gets just caught, unfortunately, on the side with the wallop. A nice flash W from Shio, not particularly mechanically enhanced, but was enough to save his top laner and enough to secure BDS a fight won on 2 sides.
A fight fought on both fronts now for BDS Academy. They not only have to worry about the impending Baron, they have to worry about these super minions charging into their base.
Let's go for the end. Look at it.
Yeah, they are
going nowhere near the fight.
There's a teleport coming in. Managed to take the Nexus turret, and that's going to be Kareem getting taken over. And Nuku, we're not expecting the enemy being behind enemy lines so easily. The massive ultimate forward, it's going to be a double kill, and they find Nuku. Nuku finding a lot of damage and healing from the tower here, from the Nexus Fountain here. County's done a lot of damage here. They're going to be onto 2 hits and a Azir turret, but they are going to still be able to hit the Nexus. BDS Academy have teleported behind you. They found a flank of flanks, but so is Ronaldo. He gets 2, fishes them into the fountain, but BDS Academy are going to take the game. They're going to take the Nexus, and it's a victory for BDS Academy.
What's happened? Go had lost 2 inhibitors and somehow found themselves routed out of their own base. I am so confused about where led us to that position. But BDS Academy, they say, team, guys, if they're going to give us the base, we should probably go take it. 2 Nexus turrets fall, and then yes, they kind of play with their food a little bit. They get bitten back at. Ronaldo slams 2 of them into the fountain and gets a good double kill for himself. But then the team goes, oh yes, well, maybe we should focus the end. They secure the Nexus, secure the win. A perplexing final 30 seconds to that game, Don Jake, I won't lie, but one that BDS Academy obviously come out on top of.
Yeah, they're able to take the victory there in quite dominating fashion towards the end, especially. Commanding performance from Rika. Impeccable fight. It's been a long game, Rudy. Impeccable spacing from the teammates. Impeccable team fighting. Wonderful victory for BDS Academy, a team that's looked deceptively weak. I'm so happy to be wrong in terms of my prediction.